Thank you for making 1010 Wins your number one choice for news in New York.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning, 68 degrees at 1240. I'm Mario Bosquez. Here is what's happening. The mayor and governor trying to hold the line amid signs of the feds possibly on the streets of New York. About a casino on Coney Island, some are saying roll the dice, others are saying snake eyes. Saying they're easing up overcrowding, city animal shelters now accepting dogs and cats again. Federal health officials say they are on track to identify what's causing autism. Is it sweater weather? We will fall into a warm autumn, perhaps. Weather officials make predictions. AccuWeather. Later today, comfortable times of sun and clouds, high 76. Yankees win, Mets win. Wiz use time 12:41. Let's get you where you need to go with Jeff Jensen.
Some delays in Brooklyn on the westbound side of the BQE approaching the Brooklyn Bridge. Construction work putting you in only the left lane going westbound. Eastbound, I can't quite tell which lane is open, but there's only one lane getting by eastbound. And on the outbound Gowanus, you've got construction out by Fort Hamilton Parkway. The ride in Queens this morning, a good one. The LIE, the Grand Central, and the Van Wyck are all pretty quiet. There's some slowdowns as you get into Connecticut at I-95. They're doing work in Greenwich, squeezing into only the right lane northbound, north of exit 2 up toward exit 5 in Cos Cob. The Merritt has some construction work too, both north and south, right near the state line. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Slow trying to get out of the city at the GWB. Upper level construction leaves only the right lane open, 20 minutes off the Cross Bronx. The Deacon approach is also busy. Harlem River Drive and West Side aren't bad to get to the bridge. Inbound, the lower levels closed for the night. The Lincoln and Holland move along nicely, and no issues at any of the Staten Island crossings this morning. Jeff Jensen, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
The president has signed more executive orders expanding the role of federal agents who've been patrolling the streets in Washington, claiming crime is rampant in the nation's capital. But crime stats from those city officials show the violent crime was on a steady decline. Now, with this in mind, amid word of a possible Fed presence on the streets of New York, Governor Hochul said changes in the law and a crackdown on retail theft are working. Meeting with business leaders in Harlem yesterday.
Governor Hochul's announcement of a 12% drop in retail theft comes as President Trump threatens to send National Guard troops to New York City and punish states with cashless bail.
If you're going to threaten withholding dollars to keep people safer because you think we haven't done enough work, that's not exactly a good partner. You know, he's just trying to throw gasoline on a fire. We don't need that.
And the governor responded to a White House memo citing cases where offenders were released without bail to commit more crimes.
I need the judges to step up. And I've been surprised at the number of judges who don't seem to know the law has changed.
Those changes, she said, do not include cashless bail. Marla Diamond, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Harlem.
Mayor Adams says the city's public safety is well in hand.
We know what we need to do here, and we're going to continue to do that. But I want to be clear on something else. We coordinate with our federal authorities. Every morning at 10 a.m., we have meetings with our city, state, and federal authorities, going after shooters, collaborating together to keep New Yorkers safe.
On Monday, Police Commissioner Tisch met with U.S. Attorney Bondi. Tisch said there's no need for the Trump administration to send in the National Guard as it's done in the nation's capital. People who live in Brooklyn showed out how divided they are regarding a casino coming to Coney Island. At a hearing yesterday, people from all over the borough showed up. Some can't wait for casinos. Others say it'll bring down the neighborhood.
Coney Island is home of the hot dogs, the Cyclone, and the boardwalk. But some people say the dazzling lights are what's missing, which is why they want a casino.
It just makes sense.
Jose says bring it on.
This isn't just a casino, it's a commitment to our workers, our families.
While Michael thinks this project is 30 years too late.
Now that the area is finally coming back, now you want to take those stores that are finally here on the corners of Stillwell and raise them and ruin their businesses.
While people from Bay Ridge to Brownsville came out to voice their opinions, the crowd couldn't be more torn. Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in Coney
A
Island.
deadly crash in Elizabeth, New Jersey yesterday claimed a life after an SUV crashed into a Planet Fitness early yesterday afternoon. Investigators say the female driver drove a Jeep onto the curb and through the windows. At 647 Newark Avenue just after noontime, a person was exercising. There, he was killed. And juries also reported among the driver 3 fitness club employees, all hospitalized. No further details as of yet, but the investigation goes on. Crisis averted on the Upper West Side with the DOT after plenty of community pushback canceled plans to convert some free parking spaces into meters.
For drivers like Jim Dine, who lives between 73rd and 86th.
It's their way of pushing the cars out, which really is so insensitive.
That was his reaction to seeing the sign saying 3 previously free spots at the corner of 81st and Columbus would now be metered. But he was relieved to also hear those signs will be coming down. Councilmember Gail Brewer says the DOT was not transparent about the plan.
Never. When, where, exact purpose, anything at all, nothing.
City Hall agreed the DOT could have done more to inform and include the public in specifics and timing. They say no one should have gotten tickets. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Saying they're easing up overcrowding situation, city animal shelters accepting dogs and cats again. All this is a long-awaited shelter in the Bronx is said to be months ahead of schedule. One Long Island program aimed at reducing the feral cat population in the town of Hempstead.
The Trap, Neuter, and Release program is a popular way to help control the feral cat population. Town of Hempstead Supervisor John Ferretti says residents can trap cats and free of charge bring them to the mobile unit.
Feral cats are humanely trapped by either our technicians or members of the public. This year, our mobile TNR program will visit communities including Rath Park here in Franklin Square, Levittown, Seaford, Wantagh.
The cats will recover for 24 hours and then residents can pick them up and return them to where they found them.
Veterinary staff on site perform safe spay and neuter surgeries right in the mobile unit, which is right behind me. The cats are allowed to recover on site.
Sophia Hall, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
Federal health officials say they are on track to identify, they say, what's causing autism and possible ways to address it. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Finding certain interventions now that are clearly, almost certainly causing autism. And we're going to be able to address those in September.
He has long claimed that environmental factors or vaccines are likely culprits. He had argued in April that autism should be prevented because, as he put it, autistic people are burdens on family and society. A lawsuit by the Trump administration being thrown out.
A federal judge has dismissed the Trump administration's lawsuit against Maryland's entire federal bench. The judge called it potentially calamitous. U.S. District Judge Thomas Cullen granted a request by the judges to toss the case, saying to do otherwise would offend the rule of law. The lawsuit addressed an order by the chief judge of the Maryland District Court that stopped the immediate deportation of migrants challenging their removals. The Justice Department said the automatic pause impeded President Donald Trump's authority to enforce immigration laws. Cullen was nominated by the Republican president in 2020 and serves in Virginia. The judge criticizes the administration's attacks on the judiciary. Haya Panjwani, Washington.
A major $800 million makeover is set for Paterson, New Jersey, to improve its aging water pipe system. Tens of thousands of customers had been under a boil water advisory for 18 days following 3 separate water main breaks. Jim Muller, Passaic Valley Water Commission, telling 1010 Wins.
It's just a capitally intensive system. You can't do it all at once. But the water mains and transmission mains in design, projects advancing, and we have the emergency to spot and address issues and react when things come up. We have to keep at it. It's not just a one and done.
The impacted communities have service now, but there are some residents apparently still questioning water safety. Police in Spain say they have busted an illegal pet store with over 150 exotic animals, including leopards, owls, and llamas, including endangered species in the town of Nules in eastern Valencia. 2 arrests, a man 35, another man 30. This came after a long investigation. Overall value of the illegal animals, over $80,000 as that investigation continues. Will we fall into sweater weather or sweat it out some more? We'll tell you about that. But first, Winds Tucson 1251 is get you where you need to go with Jeff Jensen.
Going to New Jersey, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. It's upper-level construction this morning at the George Washington Bridge, Jersey bound. Only the right lane getting by on that upper level. Cars should get to the lower level. It'll still take about 15 to 20 minutes off the crosswalks to get there. The lower level is closed inbound. Upstairs ride is okay. The Lincoln and Holland move along pretty nicely. The FDR Drive pretty jammed up southbound, 116th to 106th Streets. Rough road surface too, and only one lane getting by. Looks like it's only the left lane this morning. And then farther down on the drive, south of 23rd down to 14th, that's another construction zone. Watch for the work in Queens on the southbound Van Wyck approaching Atlantic Avenue. And in Brooklyn, both ways into right near the Brooklyn Bridge, overnight repairs. Only the left lane getting by there. And here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. We're okay on the LIE, Northern State, and Southern. If you see something on the roads, 844-JAM-1010. That's 844-526-1010. Jeff Jensen, 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
Let's get a check of AccuWeather right now with meteorologist LaTroy Thornton.
This Wednesday kicks off with some clouds here and there and a low getting down to 62 in the city. However, some of the far off Northwest Jersey and Hudson Valley suburbs get down to the lower 50s instead, leading to another comfortable day later today with a mixture of sun and clouds and a high of 76. For Wednesday night, expect another partly cloudy night with a low of 60 in the city and 50s for many suburbs yet again. That leads to one more wonderful day for Thursday. Look for sunshine and more clouds building throughout the day, but will stay dry with a high of 79. However, I can't say the same about Friday, which looks to be a wetter day with showers, perhaps even a thunderstorm, and only limited sunshine with a high of 76. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist LaTroy Thornton on New York's weather station 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Well, you know what? At least the weather's turned. Oh, sweater weather. Sweater weather. Sweater weather. Oh, God, I would. Finally, sweater weather.
From Saturday Night Live, will we fall into sweater weather or have a warm autumn? Weather officials making a prediction saying most of the U.S. is headed for a warmer fall. That's when the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, puts much of the country with a higher chance of warmer fall than normal. New York City, for example, ranging from 76 degrees at the start of fall to 54 degrees through November. Nobody likes a thief, especially if they're stolen something that affects the health of babies.
It happened this week in Hialeah, Florida. Surveillance video shows two people stealing a generator from the Miami Diaper Bank's distinctive pink van overnight. The two made off with it on a bicycle. Gabriela Rojas leads the organization, which distributes diapers to 30,000 families in South Florida who can't afford them on their own.
They don't have to resort to reusing diapers or using other things like towels or toilet paper to have their child stay clean.
It will cost about $3,000 to replace the generator, which helps to operate the big van. That money could have bought 12,000 diapers.
Christopher Cruz with the story. Yesterday, National Dog Day.
So we don't all have this dog.
What is it, Lassie?
But whether you have a cute French bulldog or a sturdy lab wondering, what is that weird thing on the table? Everyone has their favorite canine breed, and National Dog Day celebrates them all, whether mixed breeds or pure. They've all got personality. Like those noisy beagles. The whole point is to get people to remember the number of dogs who need to be rescued every year. There's also a National Cat Day. But that's another story.
Allison Keyes at National Dog Day was established in 2004 by Colleen Page, who was also founder of National Wildlife Day. Now Bloomberg Money Watch.
The Justice Department's criminal probe into health insurance giant United Health Group is broader than just allegations of Medicare fraud. It now includes how its prescription management service, OptumRx, reimburses its own doctors. The Justice Department hasn't accused United Health or its executives of wrongdoing, and the existence of a probe doesn't mean that charges will be filed. The company says it has full confidence in its practices. Another breakthrough in the fight against obesity. Eli Lilly says a weight loss pill it's working on helped patients lose almost 10% of their body weight.
I'm Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. 1010 Wins!
My number one choice for news.
With so much is happening in the world today, I keep it on all day long.
It moves so fast, you got to be up on it.
1010 Wins.
At 92.3 FM.
WINS, WINS FM in HD1 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
More people get their news from 1010 Wins and from any other radio station in the nation. Walter Geis, Editor's Desk. I'm Mario Bosquez.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM, New York.
And good morning. It's 68 degrees at 1 o'clock on this Wednesday, August 27th. I'm Suzanne Colucci, and here's what's happening. Governor Hochul says she spoke to President Trump by phone, making it clear she does not want a repeat of D.C. here, telling him National Guard troops are not needed. After a series of water main breaks that still have tens of thousands in Paterson, New Jersey, fed up, leaders say they have plans in the works to spend hundreds of $1,000s for major upgrades. The Special Victims Police Unit in Nassau County announces the shocking arrest of a daycare worker in Westbury. Hot and dry conditions across the West Coast are continuing to fuel dozens of wildfires. It's official. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. Pop star's soon-to-be father-in-law revealing some new details about it. Sports. The Yankees and the Mets both won. AccuWeather says clear skies overnight. Wins News Time 101. Time to get you where you need to go. Good morning, Jeff Jensen.
Good morning, Suzanne. We go to the GWB. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. They're working on the bridge. Upper level construction going to New Jersey. Only the right lane gets by. It happens about midway across the span. 20-minute ride from the Cross Bronx. The Harlem River Drive, Deegan, and the west side all not bad. The lower level is open to use to try to get out of the city if you want to try that. Inbound, only the upper level is open with almost no delay. The Lincoln and Holland are both pretty quiet. No big deal at the Throgs Neck, Whitestone, New York. Okay, they're working at the Bronx Man Throgs Neck. They're working on the FDR. Watch for a rough road surface southbound. They add about 10 minutes to your ride between 116th and 106th Street. So you might want to try 2nd Avenue to go downtown instead. Watch for the work in Queens. Yeah, it's both ways now on the Van Wyck into Atlantic Avenue and busy northbound on the Van Wyck just off the belt. Running up to Rockaway Boulevard with overnight repairs going on there. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. We're okay. Looking good on the LIE, Northern State and Southern State Parkways. Jeff Jensen, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
And Governor Hochul and Police Commissioner Tisch are now both pushing back against President Trump's talk of sending the National Guard to New York City. The governor revealing she went right to the source while in Harlem, talking about a citywide drop in retail theft.
The governor's announcement comes as President Trump threatens to send in National Guard troops. She said they spoke about it.
I said, Mr. President, I can give you all the data you need to show that crime is down. It's working. Our policies are working. NYPD is doing their job.
And she called the president's threat to withhold federal crime-fighting funds to states with cashless bail reckless.
We don't have cashless bail in the state of New York. He thinks we do, but we don't.
The governor cited changes made by her administration, giving judges more discretion to keep dangerous suspects locked up ahead of trial. Marla Diamond, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Harlem.
At the White House, President Trump was asked about his plans for New York City and whether he would send Guard troops to Republican-led states with high crime and murder rates.
Look, New York has difficulty and I don't want to make this bite. I want to make this like friendly. But the places we're talking about happen to be virtually all Democrat-run.
National Guard soldiers deployed now to the nation's capital have been given the power to make arrests and are carrying military-grade weapons. In Coney Island, a packed house gave lots of opinions about a possible new addition coming to town.
The controversy over a possible casino coming to Coney Island is continuing.
There's no way you're going to have a casino.
This project is a turning point. It will shift Coney Island from a seasonal attraction to a year-round destination.
The audience couldn't be more torn. Mitch has called Coney Island home for 60 years, and he thinks the dazzling lights will be anything but good for the neighborhood.
You know, the usual prostitution, drugs, loan sharking, it's all going to be back.
Well, Jose and Jack think it's the perfect opportunity to bring in more revenue.
Bringing steady foot traffic that support local businesses and revitalize the area.
Coney Island never sleeps.
Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Coney Island.
People living in Paterson, New Jersey can't seem to catch a break when it comes to water. Tens of thousands of customers have under a boil water advisory for 18 days now after 3 separate water main breaks. Passaic Valley Water Commissioner Jim Muller spoke to WINS about plans to spend $800 million to improve the aging pipe system.
We have 650 miles of water mains and transmission mains. So this is not something you fix in a year or 5 years. We're playing catch up right now, so there's a large capital investment now. Over time, we're just going to need to slow and steady be at it and keep up with the replacement cycle for 650 miles.
Service is back on in the impacted communities, but residents and businesses are still buying water in bulk and questioning if it's really safe to use even after boiling. Well, dozens of free parking spots on the Upper West Side were changed to metered spots seemingly overnight and with virtually no notice to people in the community. After drivers and lawmakers complained loudly, City Hall has reversed course.
Taking away free parking spots in an area with a lot of drivers who rely on them didn't make much sense to Councilmember Gail Brewer.
I don't know what the purpose of it is.
She says DOT buried the change in a list of other plans called smart curbs.
We had lots of workshops. I never heard anybody at DOT talk extensively about what this paid portion would be.
City Hall admits DOT could have done more to inform the public about specifics and timing. Gabriel Ayala says being a driver on the Upper West Side was already becoming impossible.
It's becoming hard for an artist like myself trying to deliver paintings. Grocery store runs are impossible. It's impossible to find parking.
Mac Rosenberg, 1010 WINS on 92.3 FM.
A special victims police unit in Nassau has announced the shocking arrest of a daycare worker in Westbury. Detectives say while employed at the daycare, Jose Rodriguez began inappropriately touching a boy when he was 10 years old, and this went on until the child was 13, this abuse starting back in 2016. Rodriguez, though, was just arrested on August 11th when he walked into a Dunkin' Donuts where the victim worked and called police. Rodriguez is facing sex abuse and child endangerment charges. Detectives are asking anyone who feels they may have been a victim as well to please reach out to Nassau County Crime Stoppers. Hot and dry conditions across most of the West are now continuing to fuel wildfires.
In the desert Southwest, massive dust clouds created havoc. In Phoenix, visibility was near zero. Hundreds of flights were delayed. In Nevada's Black Rock Desert, it's a Burning Man festival. Gusty and dusty winds of more than 40 miles per hour blowing down tents, all fueled by a monsoon storm that also sparked lightning.
My.
And soaking rain that flooded areas around Palm Springs.
And that was Carter Evans reporting. Right now, we are at 68 degrees, and we are going down to 62 overnight throughout the day. On Wednesday, sunshine and a high of 76. The full forecast is on the way.
Oh, maybe 2 weeks, not quite 2 weeks ago.
Travis Kelce's dad revealing when his son pulled out a ring and proposed to Taylor Swift. That's on the way. But first, we want to get you where you need to go. Here's Jeff Jensen.
Better whip out your Easy Pass. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. GWB trying to get to New Jersey. It's upper level construction this morning. Only the right lane gets by. Cars should get to the lower levels, save a few minutes at least. The cross blocks are the worst approach to the bridge, by the way. Harlem River Drive, Deegan, and the west side all doing okay. Lincoln and Holland are quiet. Verrazano is moving well. Some heavy traffic on the southbound FDR Drive and a rough road to go along with their paving southbound between 116th and 106th. And in Brooklyn, both ways to Atlantic Avenue, overnight work, only the left lane gets by. And they're working in Queens. And again, it's both ways on the Van Wyck Expressway to travel into Atlantic Avenue this morning. And let's see, I was double checking before which lanes are open. Looks like you're down only the left lane each way on the Van Wyck this morning. No troubles on the LIE or the Grand Central Parkway. They're both doing well. See something on the roads? 844-JAM-1010 is our tip line. 844-526-1010. Jeff Jensen, 1010 WINS at 92.3 FM.
And now let's get a check of the AccuWeather forecast. Here's meteorologist LaTroy Thornton.
The early morning hours of this Wednesday bring some clouds at times and a low of 62 in the city. However, some of the far-off northwest Jersey and Hudson Valley suburbs end up in the lower 50s instead, and that's a setup for a rather comfortable day later today with a mix of sun and clouds and a high of 76. For Wednesday night, it will look rather similar with a partly cloudy sky, a low of 60 in the city, and 50s for most suburbs. And the nice weather rolls on into Thursday with sunshine and more clouds as the day progresses on the way up to a high of 79. 69. Before the next storm arrives on Friday, with only limited sunshine, expect a couple of showers, perhaps even a thunderstorm, and a high getting up to 76. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist LaTroy Thornton on New York's weather station 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
A fairy tale ending for Taylor Swift and her Romeo, Travis Kelce. He's popped the question and the two are officially engaged. The internet went wild Tuesday when Taylor and the Kansas City tight end took to Instagram, making the announcement, posting photos from the engagement day, including a photo of Kelce down on one knee. It turns out, though, the actual proposal happened about 2 weeks ago. Travis's father, Ed, spoke to WEWS-TV in Cleveland.
I think she was getting maybe a little antsy, but he was going to put it off till this week to, make some grand thing. You make it a big special event. And I told him repeatedly, you could do it on the side of the road, do it any place. That makes it a special event when you get down on one knee and ask her to marry you.